some of our friends are like, hey, we saw you playing your guitar. He's going to figure it out. But until then, it'll be our secret, myself and the whole world. So at any rate, since we're using Be Live, would you please do me a huge favor and make Maddy and I not feel like we're alone, and like just throw up a comment or whatever? Because like now, whatever Facebook has done, if you haven't noticed yet, when you go live, it's a totally different layout that I still haven't figured out. So now I'm confident. Now I'm comfortable. This is what we've always seen. So put some love when you join. Throw us a comment, throw us a heart, and we'll be able to interact with you, because we absolutely are in this game called life, and we're in it to win it together. So this is my good friend, boot camper, and longtime coaching client, Dr. Maddy Perry. Welcome, Maddy.
Hello.
She's a Midwestern girl now from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, originally from New York. And we were just talking about the differences in our regions and discussing before we went live. Hey, so those of you in the audience, like, tell me hi, like, give me a heart or something. Let me know we're not alone. We were talking about the differences in regions and just how important it is as chiropractors, like what we're doing to help alleviate the strain on the healthcare system right now. So Maddy is still open, serving her practice members. Maddy, walk us through like the gymnastics that you have done in decision making and the comments that are coming, positive and maybe negative, that you have worked through, so that you really do see this as like there's a silver lining to all of this. What's your perspective?
It's obviously been a trying time for everyone. There's a lot of new norms that are happening. And I will say that my patients are super grateful that I've chosen to stay open. I weighed, the risk factors. I don't have children at home. So for me, it was really easy to say, okay, I am going to follow the CDC guidelines that have been given to me in order to stay open. And I'm going to do everything I possibly can to keep my doors open, because not only is it going to keep me sane to get out of the house, but, my patients need me. And I'm here to serve. I became a chiropractor to serve. That was one of my, big things, was how can I best help people? And chiropractic to me was the best way. And why in a crisis am I going to stop now? So that's, for me, the silver lining is truly having something, you could even say recession proof, pandemic proof, that a job that I love to go to and I'm happy to go to every day. And people appreciate you. I'm sure we've seen it all over. I know just walking, I had it. I saw some of our neighbors, the thank you healthcare workers, police officers, all of that. And it's like, it's nice to have that recognition by the world of saying, yes, you are a healthcare provider and you are important, because we don't always get that as chiropractors.
You are essential.
Yeah, we really are.
So here's something I think I can type comments. I was going to start just like typing out in all of the ways that we're alleviating burden on the healthcare system right now. So it's obviously mental health.
Yes.
You and I were having this discussion that domestic violence and addictions and all of those are skyrocketing right now because people are pushed to the maximum, right? Like you take individuals who are used to moving around and having all kinds of distractions, and you bring them together in a time of uncertainty. And, like no one has to stay in their house, but a lot of people are. And it's sometimes not going to bring out the best in individuals. So domestic violence is really, really high right now. And chiropractic care and chiropractors, we love on individuals and we care for them in a different way, and we have relationships with them. So that was one of the things I was thinking of, just is the impact that we have as chiropractors on the mental health and the mental stability of our community. What's one that you think of, Maddy?
Well, kind of going along that line too. Mental health also with the sense of substance abuse. People that are in pain, physical pain, headaches, back pain, neck pain, things like that. Before we had this big pandemic, the other pandemic was the opioid crisis. We've
Right.
talked about it for years and years and years. And if people are going to urgent care, ER, they're getting pain pills, and that's exactly what we don't want right now. And so now you've added another thing into the mix of, okay, we're in pain. I'm tired of looking at my significant other. My kids are driving me up the wall. Like, all here in the Midwest, it's been rainy and cold for like the last 3 weeks. And so, like, no sunshine, like, people are hitting their limit. So, if you are able to just alleviate that one little thing, which you don't even realize that when people are coming in for pain, they're also getting kind of that mental fix too, because I'm getting it every day in my office of people being like, oh man, like, this is the first place I've gone in 3 days, and I'm so excited to be here and, practice my social distancing with people. And it cracks me up, and I love it. But yeah, just the fact that people don't have to get on more pills and can almost even potentially get off pills if they're, taking pain pills. That is just, I think, and it's a burden off our medical system. They don't have to go fill prescriptions, which means now they're not going to the pharmacy, which means now the pharmacists don't have to worry about themselves being exposed. So it's this whole big ripple effect that's really been happening right now.
Such a huge ripple effect. And for chiros who are allowed to be open. So we're not speaking to those who your state has said you have to shut down. We're speaking to those who have been given the option, and those who it aligns with your paradigm and it aligns with how you want to show up and serve during all of this. I think of, the individuals who would have gone to the emergency room, taken up a space, potentially been infected, and now, like, seriously, the medical profession themselves admits they don't have anything for as we know, musculoskeletal pain. So talk about being able to be an essential part. And I know some of you are going to be like, well, we're more than back pain and neck pain. I know.
Yes, we are, but we got to deal with what we have right now.
But, but yeah, I mean, an emergency room doctor is more than COVID, but that's the majority of what they're seeing right now. And they're not running around saying, I'm more than this. I'm more than this. They're saying, hey, here's the need, so let's fill it. Like, this is our time to really shine, to say, hey, we can help you. We can help you. We can help you so you don't have to revert to an opioid or even over the counter or prescription drug, or even, a lot of people are coming into colds and flu season. I mean, not flu season, but
allergy season.
Allergies that may have sent them into the emergency room, a strain on emergency care versus like them being able to just deal with the COVID-19 stuff. So you are so essential, chiropractor, and essential for individuals to help alleviate as well the stress. Like Maddy said, like, people are just like beyond tapped out. So I'm asking every single one of you, and we're doing in the boot camp, is within the tribe, let's all together say, okay, you know what, this week it's going to be about going outside and getting everyone in our community, hi everyone, let's go outside and we're going to do 10 jumping jacks at noon. And then as a whole tribe, hey, go and do this thing and go and do this thing and go and do this thing. Like, please know you can have a huge ripple effect right now. Like, it takes one person to stand up. It takes one person to keep standing up. And I'm asking all of you, will you do it? Will you simply live your healthy lifestyle out in front of a camera and in front of your practice members so they can link to and connect up to you? So in times of crisis, people want protocols and steps, right? Like, think about when there's I go back to the earthquake, because obviously that was a pretty big deal here in Alaska. And there were very specific steps that the teachers took with the students. All right, we do this thing, and then we do this thing, and then we do this thing, and then we do this thing. Like, there was a specific protocol. Do you guys know your practice members are looking for you to lead them and give them a protocol, not only when they come in the office to, wash your hands and social distancing and all of that, but how do I live this new life when I'm like contained inside my house? Like, what do I do in order to burn off energy, in order to de-stress myself? So, Maddy, what are some of the things that you're teaching your practice members?
Well, the big thing is obviously people want and need content right now. So like today I did a post on 5 different stretches you can do from sitting at your desk. Especially right now, everyone, or I shouldn't say everyone, a lot of people are working from home. They don't have that ergonomic setup that they had. So now we're seeing more neck strain, we're seeing more headaches, we're seeing more shoulder strain. So all of those things where people had that set up at work, they're not having right now because a lot of people don't have a good home office. So, teaching them different stretches, making sure that they are drinking enough water. You'd be surprised, again, like water, making sure we're taking good supplements. Vitamin D, we were just talking how like right now there's no sunshine. Vitamin D is an amazing immune booster. Like all these simple things that we should be doing. We keep joking that every time we go to the store, there's all the produce, but all the frozen stuff is gone. Like the pizzas, the pre-made dinners, like all of that stuff that's just full of everything that I think everyone had that initial freak out. And now I love that my patients are coming to me saying, hey, you know that recipe you gave me a while ago? Well, I made it with my kids yesterday. They absolutely loved it. And so, people are getting into cooking and all of those things. And hey, what should I be buying? And giving them a list of saying, these are the things that we want to be eating right now to help support ourselves. Those are the stuff that we're looking at. And just the reminder of like, breathe. Literally on my whiteboard, it says 3 deep breaths. That's what it says this week in my office, because everyone is just in this super high sympathetic tone, this go, go, go. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And it's like,
let's do it right now. So all of us take 3 deep breaths because we're going to like trigger our parasympathetic. Ready? So you know what? All of us, we could literally go live first thing in the morning, encourage everyone to breathe, just before dinner and bedtime. And something that I'm going to be more diligent about leading our tribe on is teaching our practice members about sleep. Because I think the stress of everyone's mind going, the stress of, oh my gosh, we've been in this house
yeah,
so long that I'm confident people aren't sleeping well. So all of you, what are some of your most favorite sleep techniques? Like, what do you do to power down and teach them, like, turn off the blue light, the computer, the television, the phone at least an hour before you go to bed. Like, it's not good for your neurology to be looking at that just before. Like, magnesium lotion on your feet, breathing, stretching, like getting into parasympathetic. And please, let's all remember our practice members and our community, they don't know what we know. They don't know what we know. They haven't been studying chiropractic and natural health care for probably a lifetime like a lot of us have. So even if you feel like, if your mind says, oh, people have to know that, but what if they don't? Will you tell them? Chris Becker says oils. Yeah, teach them about essential oils. I got a message from Melody Watts that she's doing a thing on doTERRA and their immune boosting oil. So this is a great time to connect with your local. I guarantee you everyone has a doTERRA dealer or distributor near them. This is about, like those who are weathering well, whether it's financially or in their health or in their relationships, are those who did planning ahead of time. And just before we went live, we were talking about, and you said, I never realized how thankful I was going to be that I did the 90-day challenge. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so this week is literally the last week of the 90-day challenge that we started back in January. And Speaking of financial, with that 90-day challenge, January and February were phenomenal months for me. And the beginning of March was too. We were on track to still have a record March. And then, all of this hit. And I will say that, yes, I'm lucky I'm still open. Numbers are down, but they're only down by about 10%. So still not collecting what I thought I would be, but still collecting a good amount. And plus, I already have all the extra from the work I've done, that I know that I'm financially secure right now. If I needed to close down for 2 months, I'm okay. I can still pay myself. I can still pay my staff. I can still pay my bills. And that's a relief. That is a relief that a lot of people don't have right now. And so I'm like, man, I could not have picked a better time to start, this 90-day, sprint that we did. And I know this was the inaugural sprint, so no one really knew what to expect. And I will say I've had a lot of fun doing it too. Yeah. And, there's just so much more. I don't want to say stuff, but there's just so much more going on, that you don't even realize when we're getting to the end, we're like, oh my God, wow. Like, this is second nature now to just do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, okay, no big deal,
And you have an awesome coach. Your coach is Shauna, right?
Yeah. The amazing Shauna. Because we're totally winning this. And we're all going to be in Nashville together, and it's going to be a blast. I bought my ticket, okay, so case in point, bought my ticket for the summit in November, and it's not a cheap ticket,
No.
and I was like, okay, bing, bang, boom, done. Doesn't matter that we're in a quote recession right now.
Right.
I've got no worries that I can afford that ticket and that flight and whatnot. So, it's an awesome position to be in. Again, no one expected this, but it's really taken quite the load off, from being like, oh no, what are we going to do? And now I'm kind of keeping a little status quo right now, but I'm fully ready for kind of when all of this ends, that it's just going to be ramping right back up again, because I'm kind of able to keep this status quo through everything that's going on right now.
And, I think it's easy if you haven't done the work to start retracting. Okay, that sounds really good for you, Dr. Maddy, but I'm watching this and I'm not in that position. I'm not going to make it through financially or whatever. And here's my message to all of you who are saying that to yourself. Then start today. The saying is, when's the best time to plant a tree? Yesterday. Start today, so you never find yourself in this situation again. Use the pain and the uncomfortableness of today to set a future that looks way different than what you're living today. And that's why it's so important right now. Don't retract. Don't run and hide. This is the time to come out as a leader. Your community is looking for, and I know I sound like a broken record. The first law of learning is repetition. So I'm going to keep saying it. Your community is looking for a leader. They're looking for a leader, and no one's going to come around and go, okay, you're leader, you're not. Leader, not. The leaders are the ones that step in. The leaders are the one that step in. It doesn't mean you have to have special skills. It doesn't mean you have to wear a cape. It just means you stepped in and you're willing to lead. And now let me say this about leadership. A lot of individuals retract from leadership because you're like, what if I make a mistake? What if I say, let's go, and it's not good for the people behind me? What if? But most commonly, what if you step forward and lead and it turns out magically well? That's a more likely scenario. So will you step up and take full responsibility for yourself, and then tell everyone who's following you what's possible, and then they make the decision? And this is really, I think, one of the most vital habits for leaders to own is care, don't carry. As a leader, I'm not carrying anybody. I care, therefore I lead. I lay it out, and then each individual makes the decision on their own, just like this discussion this morning of the straddle that a lot of chiropractors are feeling between, well, if I'm open, I know that I'm an essential healthcare worker, and so I'm helping alleviate strain in the emergency room. But what if I'm a contributor of this contagious thing? I'm like, well, what if? What if? And that's a decision that that each person has to make of, am I going to be part of the solution by serving and alleviating the burden on the healthcare system? Or am I going to be part of the solution by retracting and not have a place where people are coming to receive care? It's a personal decision for sure. I'm specifically speaking, and I have been championing since the beginning those who have chosen to stand and serve. Keep serving, keep serving, keep serving, and remember, you are essential. You are essential. And for those who've chosen to close, or your community, your state government has said you have to close, please don't run. Tell people, listen, I can still meet with you on the phone. I can still meet with you on Zoom. I can still meet with you. I'm still here for you. I still have a lifeline. And every day I'm going live at noon, or every day I'm going live at this time, and I'll read stories for your kids, and I'm here for you, and I'm here for you, and I'm here for you. I'm not saying it's easy, because a lot of you suddenly became homeschoolers. And I know what that's like. I homeschooled my kids while I was in practice, and it's a huge commitment. Please just know that this interacting with your community, I'm not talking about hours and hours and hours. I'm simply asking, live your life out loud so they can follow your leadership. Like going outside. It's raining out. Have a puddle party.
Well, I will say, I think, talking about leading and whatnot, if you look at like my Facebook lives, man, I have ones that are literally like 3 minutes long, and it's like me goofing off with my dog. Like, and it makes people laugh, it makes me laugh, and I look like a goofball, and I'm totally okay with it. And again, like that leadership position of like showing people this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm getting through this. Like, case in, something just as simple as toilet paper. I had a patient who was super early to their appointment yesterday because they went to Walmart to try to get toilet paper, and they called ahead of time, and they said, yep, we have it. Got there, no toilet paper. And I was like, oh, I was in the Target that's across the street from my office yesterday picking up some like toothpaste and whatnot. I didn't go in the toilet paper aisle, but I'm pretty sure they should probably have some because they had a lot. And lo and behold, she went over there and literally called us and was like, thank you so much, I got toilet paper. Like, and she literally needed it. They were down to like their last roll. And it's just simple things like that of just being aware of what's going on in your community. Like, that's how you lead. Just being aware and being like, oh yeah, I think over there they finally have toilet paper back in stock. And like the content that I'm putting out right now is not this like PhD level stuff. This is just simple. Like you don't need to be presenting at, Stanford Medical College in order to be a leader. Like, again, just simply just being like, hey guys, I take a walk 3 times a day, every day. I have a dog, so I have to do it. But if I didn't have a dog, I would still be doing it. I drink plenty of water. I drink a ton of, herbal tea as well. That's how I keep, I get 8 hours of sleep every night. I turn the TV off and I get into bed and I read and I go to sleep. I'm not up flipping around on Facebook or Instagram or whatnot. Like, I purposefully turn everything off so I can go to sleep. And that's just how the simple things like that is just being a leader in the community. Like I said, you don't have to have like a PhD in, neurochemistry in order to lead.
I want to say something about leadership, and sometimes we just have to remind people, individuals, of the simple things. Like I posted on Sunday, like unplug, rest and unplug. And guess what? All the chaos was still there on Monday when we came back. So I encourage all of you to literally plan your rest and your unplugs. Like just look
Mm-hmm.
at either the week or look at the weekend and say, you know what? I'm just unplugging. The world is going to go on without you being on your phone, on social media. It will still go on, and the chaos is still going to be there as soon as you come back. But please give your mind, give your body, give all of that a break by unplugging. Like schedule it. Like I'm just going to unplug this weekend for a few hours. It will do wonders for you. Now, I will tell you, it can feel like you're getting hit by a tidal wave when you jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware. You're like, I jumped back in on Monday and had a breakdown Monday morning, like major breakdown. And my husband's like, what is what is with these breakdowns? Like, no, he wasn't like that. He was really, really patient and understanding and listened. Um, but it's worth the break. It's worth unplugging. So all of you, please take time to unplug. And guess what? Your family's home. Like, do something with your family who we all say, oh, I wish I had more family time. You got it.
Got it. Yep.
You got lots of family time right now. And so I just think, yeah, this is a really stressful time, but I just see that I know there's so much chaos. Like, I get that. But I truly believe that we get to choose our mood. We get to choose our lens that we look through all of this. And I just see lots of silver lining. And for those of you like, oh, it's easy for you to say, Barb, it can be same for you. It can be the same for you. You can choose to look through a lens, easy or hard. Like right now, I can look through these and I can see things better because they're refracted for my eyes. Maddy has prescription glasses too. If I take them off, it's not as easy for me to see. So I get to choose, do I want to put them on so I have better insight? So I can see things and create greater ease in my life. And do you know that you get to choose? We all get to choose exactly how we want to see things. We get to choose how we're going to go through this. So please, everyone, search for the silver lining. You will seek that which you find. You will find that which you seek. If you're looking for the blessings, you will see them. Like my husband having him home, it's been so fun. Like every time I walk out of my office, he's doing something, and spending that time together. Now, if you don't have a spouse that you enjoy, maybe now is the time. Like, hey, babe, can we read a book together to work on our marriage? If your kids are driving you crazy, start one by one working on the stuff that is going to make the relationship better. We all get that choice. Individuals have great lives just because they're lucky. Actually, I don't know that many people who are lucky. Luck is a matter of preparation, in my opinion. What do you have to say, Maddy?
Yeah, no, it really is truly seeing the silver lining. Like, last week was a really, really hard week for me. I had a lot of stuff in my family happen, and I'm far away from my family. So not being able to hop on a plane and get somewhere and whatnot, it was a tough week. It was a very, very tough week. And I literally I didn't tell my practice members what was going on. I still chose to show up with a smile because I still got to go to work. And I said on Friday, I was like, I'm taking the weekend off. I am detoxing. Again, like no social media, no nothing. I took the weekend off. And yes, Monday morning, I got hit with a tidal wave, but I didn't care. And I came back better and happier and stronger and ready to go. And so, yeah, the whole like, oh, but it's easy for you. Like, no, you don't know what's going on in other people's lives. And it's, yes, you could say I'm an eternal optimist, and I totally have my moments when I'm a major pessimist. But yeah, I really do try to find the silver lining, and most of the time I really can. And when you can't, you kind of have that breakdown moment and you work through it, and then the silver lining comes right back. So, it really truly is outlook and mindset. And yeah, it's something that I've had to work years and years and years for. I know you have too, Dr. Barb, and it's well worth it. And yeah, there's no better time to start than now.
And it doesn't mean we're not going to have bad days at all. Was it Monday morning? I think I still, oh no, I got on, I called a team meeting with my team, and I just said, hey guys, like I'm struggling and I need your help. So that's why it's so important to have community and to have a team. Whether that team is in your office or it's in like the boot camp, that we can reach out to one another. And it doesn't mean we're weak. It doesn't mean we're broken. It just means, hey, right now I need a lifeline. And I'm so thankful for our tribe and how everyone, it just leans in and helps. And for those of you who aren't in our tribe and you're feeling alone, I get it. Like I would be terrified if I didn't have all the lifelines that I've put into place. So if we haven't talked about the boot camp and you want to chat about the boot camp, please, you know how to get in touch with me. Either go to my website, hit me up with a Facebook private message, but don't stand in your loneliness, because it will probably get worse, and your perspective then can become a habit. And be careful who you surround yourself with. The greatest threat to any of us living to our optimum potential, and really the greatest threat to how we move through this, is who we're surrounding ourselves with. If you're around individuals who are constantly telling you, oh my gosh, this is terrible, this is horrible, we're not going to make it, like pretty soon you start believing that. Versus if you're insulating yourself with individuals who are like, hey, you know what, it's crazy times. People are dying for sure. We don't know what tomorrow brings, but today, this is what I do know. And I'm going to walk through the fire with those who I love and appreciate, who've been there for me, and I'm there for them. One last thing before we sign off. Please, all of you, be watching my Facebook page. I have a multiplicity of webinars coming up for free just to help everyone. On Friday at 12 Eastern, probably all of you are seeing too that there's so many scams going on right now, whether it's SBA loans or it's mortgage stuff or whatever. So I have tapped into my relationship capital with Dan McCoy and Jennifer Bleem, and they came into the boot camp and helped us at Christmas time to how to spot, like scams and identity theft and whatnot. So now they're coming out and teaching us the five hottest scams right now that could really trip you up, or those that you know. So that's at noon. Then I'm also talking with, we just have to get it scheduled with a president of a bank, a national bank, on what do we have to do for this SBA thing. And then on Tuesday, April the 7th at 4:30 Eastern, I'm bringing on, again, tapped into my relationship capital, and Garrett Gunderson from the Wealth Factory connected me to their resource. And the purpose of this one is, listen to this. It's how do we develop a decision-making process to decide, is the government money good for me? How do I best use it? What do I do? Like, how do I make those decisions? How do I objectively look at it? How do I know what's best for me? And how do I use it best? So kind of a different take on the whole SBA loans, the payroll protection plan, a different take, because I want to help you develop patterns in your life so that you're better decision makers. So all of that is coming up.
A lot of content.
A lot of content, ripping the content. So Maddy, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm continuing to pray for your family. I greatly appreciate all that you have contributed in my life as a friend, as well as in the boot camp. So thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. Have a great day. God bless you. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.